The news and views expressed herein are the sole property of Kenosha Today. Certain portions of this program may be unsuitable for children, sensitive adults, small animals, and the general public. Viewer discretion is advised.
As always.
Are we ready, Uncle Scottie?
Yeah, that's our viewing audience right there. Hit it. Crank it up, Elmo. See if you can get it going.
All right.
I remember that picture from a couple years ago. Is that on the menu for breakfast? Roadkill in front of City Hall?
No, that's what's on the menu.
Oh, man. Where did that come from? We'll get it right. Wait for it.
I moved it.
Wait for it.
There
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scottie Barter, and along with my personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider. And we welcome you to the April 18th edition of the all-new Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. Governor Elmo, seriously, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for bringing us to this place.
I prefer to be a grand poobah.
The Grand Poobah. We've got more weeks to go. Again, we are coming to you live and local this morning from the Barter Manor studio, which we will be calling home, we thought at least till April 24th, but we're going to get into it. It's going to be at least May 11th, and depending on who knows what's going to be. But we are here because we have been declared essential by somebody, insane people. We are streaming live across the warming cornfields of the Midwest, along with streaming to everyone all around the world. At any rate, we are brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with Union Park Tavern and a host of very fine local businesses. Elmo and myself have remained committed, should be committed, to the Kenosha area, and will continue to broadcast live and local, bringing you the most up-to-date news, weather, sports, if we ever get to. And there are some sports we can talk about, not sports activities, but the big question mark on sports for in this country for the rest of the year. And so many
NFL draft is coming up this week, so that's going to be.
Well, there's a thing we're going to talk about where they're going to play, and who's going to play, how it's going to. This whole thing's going to be different. Major League Baseball and basketball and hockey, they still don't know if they're going to continue or just call it a season, but. At any rate, if you want to watch the replay, all you have to do is go to KenoshaToday.com, hit blog, right, stream, and go at it. You don't have to wait for a specific time.
They're right there.
They're right there in the order of that they've been appearing. And everybody can now sign up with the thousands of our fans who have joined the Kenosha Today Nation, and like us on Facebook. Our new phone number there, 262-597-3020. It is 45 degrees here in the Kenosha Days. It's going to warm up to about mid-50s today and tomorrow. And the stock market almost closed this week at 24,240.
It's going to get back there.
Yeah, started the week at 23,536. So for the week it was up 705. And if it's averaging 23,592 in these troubling times, we can keep that and keep maintaining, inching back up. We'll get there. It's not going to be right away, but
you got to open things up because with all those people unemployed and all those businesses are going to be going bankrupt. So.
The day after majority of the states get back or open back up, I see this thing going back up at least to 28. Maybe not as high as it was before, but and so from the pandemic room, Safer at Home Saturday starts right now. Hey, look at this! My granddaughter Morgan, 9 years old, she gives me this. I don't know if you can see it for Easter. You know, she made this at home. She's quarantined. She's done with school. Man, look at that, 9 years old. How nice she did that. And then she brings me this during the week. So at least her education is going to waste. And like mine might have gone to waste a little bit. Obviously, the big news story this week is Governor Evers closed up shop and put another order out there to extend his...
illegal order.
Well, that's going to be challenged. He originally went from March 11th, no, was it? March 24th, I thought, to April 24th.
No.
Was it March 11th? I thought it was.
They shut all the bars down on the 17th.
Right, okay. But he didn't issue this one order. A lot of things going to go on here in the next week. He decided to close everything down till May 26th. The schools are closed. We get that. But there's going to be a challenge, apparently, of when this could come up. And I thought May 1st would have been, I would have been fine with that, but another whole 4 weeks on top of this is, you're right.
Numbers do not support the draconian measures that are being taken here. And it's all, the real reason that he extended that is to disrupt the special election for Sean Duffy's seat in northern Wisconsin for Congress.
Oh, really?
He wanted to screw up the election. That's what I did.
So they're not voting up there?
It's still set for May 12th.
Oh, well. And is he a Republican?
He's the one he resigned because his wife was pregnant with her 47th kid that was going to. Now they're only 13.
They should put him in charge of Planned Parenthood.
He's a good Catholic boy up there, but
Yeah.
you don't know that. Determined the kid had some problems and stuff like that. It was going to be a special needs kid, so he decided to resign from Congress to take care of the family matters.
Well, there's protests. I don't know. There was supposed to be one in Madison yesterday. I don't know how it ended up, but I know I saw the one in Michigan when she closed everything down and actually did worse than what Evers did. And the greatest quote I heard was this protester. He said, "Hey, how about this? I can smoke grass in Michigan. I can't mow the grass in Michigan."
Michigan Mussolini, Gretchen Whitmer.
Right now, according to what I saw, 90% of America is on lockdown, and the weather's getting nice. And so now, according to this, public libraries can now provide curbside for the books. The golf courses are open, and like we all suggest, has to be by a tee time. You swipe your thing at a kiosk, and away you go.
Pay online.
Yeah, pay online. And supply chains, remember they closed the Hobby Lobby down? I think they can open if they want to because they're selling essential cloths for the face mask. And but it's got to be curbside. And I haven't had look at this mop. I haven't had a haircut in 5 weeks. It's getting a little out of hand.
You look like Ben Franklin pretty soon. Or Hillary Clinton.
Oh, come on now. Here, pull the knife out of my back. Come on. Local parks can stay open, although the state parks, I think, are still closed. And travel is, people are encouraged not to travel. And thank God he takes care of the tribal nations. They should be respectful and avoid non-essential places to go. And
Well, he has no control over them whatsoever.
that's true.
He can only ask that they try to, cooperate, but whatever. But they're actually all separate countries.
So one of this thing was, if you were like a lawn care place, you could go out and cut somebody's yard if you were the only guy there. Well, I just see, these guys work in teams of 4.
Sure.
So go cut the yard and move on. I mean, come on. And I'm going to get in like this rocket wash. I think this guy owns 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, he can't open them up, and yet the guy down the street has his car wash going because he sells food and snacks or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah, big deal. And now here's one interesting thing, Elmo. Downtown Kenosha Inc. This gal is all over this. She needs to go on some food-saving devices, but she says she's launched this new campaign. This is why she's getting $75,000. But Elmo, I found a couple flaws in this gal's plan. They've got 40 businesses that apparently have $75,000 to work with, and she's going, stay calm and shop local, strong downtown. The problem is,
nothing's open.
most of these places are closed. And so I guess the thing would be too little, too late. And is we're streaming, okay. Mm-hmm. So at any rate, what she's offering in her promotion, customers come to post a picture of their gift card. Sounds like a page out of Elmo Broadcasting. You want a gift card? You come see me. And just you might want to check the expiration date on some of those. 01 and 03 were pretty good years, right? Some places around the country are using drones that fly over like the beaches. That's what this one did. And they actually can talk. They're trying to promote social distancing.
Yeah, they yell at people from there.
Yeah. They can, hey, So this happened to me. They must have started this program about a year ago because last summer I'm out here in the patio and this drone flies down the middle of my yard. Hey, you with the white hair, put your pants back on. So, and then about an hour later, it comes even with my bedroom, and it was like a laugh track. I didn't know what that was about. So anyway, I think that's going to extremes when you got Big Brother watching over you. I don't know what the purpose of this, but meanwhile in Wisconsin, COVID-19 cases climbed over 4,000. And please don't do this to me because I'm not going to take this unless you're. See here, maybe there's something here. Audio's starting to fade in and out. Audio's starting to fade. Well, too bad. What are you going to do? It looks fine to us.
I turned it down a little bit because of the red line and stuff, so maybe that's it. So.
Okay. Oh, if it gets over the limit, it could.
See the meters on there?
Yeah, all right.
Way up in the red and it gets distorted. So.
Anyway, in Wisconsin, we have a little over 4,000 cases, 205 deaths, which is only about 29% of that tested positive in the state of Wisconsin. In Kenosha County, 5 people died, but 4 in the last week, but those were people who were, I believe, all over 80. Maybe 1 was under there, but Kenosha County Jail, they got some problems down there, and the same with the...
Well, any place you got a bunch of people together.
Yeah.
I probably bet that, the 80 years old that died are all in a nursing home someplace, too.
Well, I checked with, Brookside. They have not had one person that tested for the virus, which surprised me. I thought for sure, and as soon as they do, they put them in isolation. They put them in a closet or something. I know they're on there. Just gonna put them in a closet. Hey, how about that nursing home? I thought it was out east, where they found 17 bodies, all mounted up. I don't even know if they were.
They put them in a room in a basement.
Yeah. Well, that's Uncle Freddie. That's Aunt Mabel, and in Racine County, their sheriff, Chris Schmeling, he decides, well, he must have got some legal opinions. He's recommending in Racine that you use the masks for social distancing and any other protective equipment, but those folks are not going to be arresting anybody if they see anybody. He says, everybody has a constitutional right.
That's right.
And the state and a city ordinance or county ordinance cannot supersede that. So I guess they're just going to look away. And, if you see a group, here's what happens. Like you see it like over Easter Sunday, and you see 5 cars in from somebody. So you got these people, they're legally meeting, and just get over it. If they want to get the virus, that's them.
That's their own fault.
Yeah. And you said that Vegas was thinking of opening up.
Yeah, I heard that. They're trying to get it.
Not only have they lost the wages, but the amount of money in revenue and taxes that they've lost out there.
Well, it's more of the convention business, too. It's not just the gambling and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, now, this article appeared in the Kenosha News this morning from the village of Twin Lakes, issued a very stern warning to all you folks in Illinois. This request applies to stay at home, both in and out of state, and don't come up here. If you come up to Twin Lakes or Lake Geneva, for example, and plan on staying there, you have to quarantine yourself for 14 days. However, if you want to go buy something there, whatever shops might be open, free to come in and spend your money. But, that's still Kenosha Today saying, get out and stay out. The governor, he should put a sign, instead of welcome to Wisconsin, like, we'll get back to you.
Well, no, did you hear Scott Walker was that he put welcome to Wisconsin, we're open for business. The first thing Evers did was take those down. So there were the 3 biggest things that he has done. Number 1, he takes the sign down. Number 2, he closes all the business. Number 3, he keeps them closed.
Got to have a plan, right? I always
the next thing he's going to want to raise taxes. Or where does the money come from?
I always kiddingly called him Tony the Tiger, and I heard guys the other day say Tony the Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, speaking of our governor, our leader, he signed in a bill a week ago that his administration spent days negotiating with the Republicans that allows us to get something like $75 million in funding within 90 days from the federal government for public health emergency needs. So, I'm glad that he says, okay, and this is what's going on in Washington. I'll let you throw your couple cents in. Forget the partisan politics. The Democrats out in Washington want to add all this stuff to this next $359 billion bill. Just give the $300 billion and do it for wages and unemployment and things like that. Forget throwing in. Remember the one when they put all that money in there to repair the Kennedy Center?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. God, forget that nonsense.
Small Business Administration loans went out. Pelosi won't sign it unless they put all this crap back in there. So it was,
Myself and a number of small businesses applied for the $10,000 grant, or it's supposed to be. It starts as a loan, and depending on what you do with it, could turn in a forgivable grant. I don't even get a note saying, that here's your confirmation number, like you get when you apply for unemployment. So, and now they ran out of money on Thursday, and so they have to, Congress, these guys, and they're not in session, right? They have to vote by consent, mutual consent. What do they call it? They're not in Washington right now, are they?
So they have to be to vote. You can't vote by proxy. It's right there in the Constitution.
Right. But what was that? What was the thing that they were voting for by something consent?
Well, unanimous.
Yeah, they can do that from afar.
No, well, somebody's got to be there.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know what the rules are as far as a quorum or something like that. They got to have enough people there to vote by the thing.
What a mess that's turning out there. Just forget this. Just do what is good for America for once, and forget this. Well, I'm going to put this in for this bill, and I want to put in another million or billion for that. And that's how they get things passed out there, right? They have a general focus.
I'll let you have your pet project if you'll give me my pet project.
I remember
that's how this place gets all screwed up.
2 years ago when they had the tax bill that they passed right at the 11th hour, 1,100 pages, of which the first 30 dealt with the taxes. The rest of it was all the crap that they put in there. So, which brings me to your stimulus check. I'm not a big fan of e-filing, but here's what's happened. A wave of checks went out on Monday, and people got them in their bank accounts on Wednesday. And those that didn't, as I come to find out a couple of days later, if you went to, now I'm not saying anything bad about H&R Block or Johnson or Jackson Hewitt, but if you went to those places, you go in because their pitch is you come in, we e-file, and you walk out with your loan because they write these people a check, and they deduct their fee. However, what's happened, Jackson Hewitt and H&R Block are the listed ones to the government. So those folks got all of their stimulus money. Their coffers got to be just bulging. So they said, and then the IRS, you go on their website, that's all screwed up. I had a couple people that actually got their checks, and you go on their portal, that's not working. And this whole thing is a nightmare. So they're suggesting get a hold of the IRS. Well, good luck with that concept. But and the other thing I want to point out is that concept of taking your deposit and putting it in somebody else's account, according to the IRS regulation, which they send me often every year. Paid tax professionals aren't permitted to endorse or otherwise negotiate a refund check issued to a taxpayer, even if the taxpayer requests the refund to be directed into their bank account. Failure to comply could result in an Internal Revenue Code penalty of $510. Well, now the IRS knows that one, that rapid refund, that whole thing was actually outlawed in a couple of states because one of the companies, I know which one I'm not going to mention, was charging like a payday loan, like 30%.
Sure.
So here's your refund, and these people were living paycheck to paycheck. Take out of $1,000, just give me my $300, keep your interest, keep your thing, and write me a check, and out the door they go. So that might change the whole way we do income taxes. And I'm not a big fan of e-filing. I'd rather have you mail it, take a direct deposit, because in the last couple of years, 5 million people got bilked out of $50 million. And these hackers go in, they not only took your refund, they took your whole account. So anyway, that's solved that problem. And if you're going to be entitled to a paper check, the last I heard that this could be delayed up to like 16, 20 weeks. And I don't know if this was the reason, but Trump decides to put his name on the memo. And I don't know what, Elmo, I know you're a Trump lover, but oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, okay, well, what do you think that's all about?
What's that?
Having his name put on the checks, the paper checks that are being sent.
It's ridiculous. Who cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But here people need the money, and because he wants to do that, And the thing is, a paper check, because it held the printing of these things up, it's not his actual signature. It's in the memo section of the check, and words President, people are going to be upset with the delay of that. That might hurt him politically more than anything else. So, and then of course, then there's the small business loan that ran out on Thursday. By the way, if you want to weigh in at 262-597-3020, the Paycheck Protection Program, and they need to supply that. $10 billion was to offer the grants for the small ones up to $10,000, and Congress still hasn't told the Small Business Association what the guidelines of this are. My guess is that for the smaller ones, they will give you your net profit up to a maximum of 10 grand. And what the bigger ones wanted to do was have you keep, if you have more than 5 employees, keep them on the payroll, pay them out of this, and of course they don't have any work to do, but that I didn't quite understand that system. I don't understand a lot of this that's going on. But the disaster loan program had $372 billion in applications. But you know, when you apply online.
Can't the show apply? We're certainly a disaster.
Yeah, here's your $3. We want change. So here's something we can get behind now. Strip clubs and lobbyists.
That's right.
You know, strip clubs all across the country were forbidden, to apply for this grant under the stimulus program because they didn't think a strip club was essential. Well, I got to tell you, that strip clubs are very much essential. So 3 different groups from Little Darling Strip Club in Flint, Michigan. You remember that, actually. Silk Exotic Gentlemen's Club in Milwaukee.
Yep.
And, of course, that was the only 2 that were mentioned here. They filed a suit against the Small Business Administration.
Speaking of that, did you see the weatherman down in Alabama or Mississippi, something like that?
No.
The tornado is going through, and they're giving the location. He says, "Well, it's right by the booby trap."
Strip club, so everybody knows where that is.
Everybody knows where that is. If you're near the booby trap, you're going to get hit.
Well, it's just like everybody knows around the border. It's right up there. This is so un-American. I don't know. What do you think the chances of them winning? Since those businesses.
Yeah, why? They're employees. Why not?
Well, compared to like a restaurant, instead of selling food, they're selling female good-looking bodies too.
Well, it's a job. They pay taxes and everything else. Why wouldn't
Well, you could go in there and kind of defeats this. If you have to practice social distancing, how do you get a lap dance? From afar or what? Maybe dream or what?
Well, unless you're in the champagne room, you better keep those social distancing, or your bouncer's going to come and rip your head off.
I'm thinking, where's the scarf lady that Dr. Brooks, the legend of Dale Evans? Where is she when we need her for her leadership? She better come out of the woodwork and tighten that scarf up, or take it off, maybe. I think at one time she might have been a pole dancer. That's what I think. Well, you could have said, yeah, we saw her someplace. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to have a little weather from our weather buddy, Sammy. We're going to give her a call. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. How's that? Well, the quotes. About a minute.
Okay.
Just stay with. Once again, a very good morning to everybody. This is Uncle Scottie Barter along with my personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider.
Good morning.
And we welcome you to the Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. It is 24 minutes after the hour here in Kenosha Today Nation, bringing you the best in news, weather, sports, and entertainment. We are brought to you by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, the Union Park Tavern, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. We invite you to give us a call with these comments, questions during these very troubling times, 262-597-3020. And today's weather, radar weather, is sponsored by Capo Web Design, which is a locally owned web design and development business here in Kenosha, specializing in website design, development, maintenance, and art services and support. Who actually designed and is currently developing our site, KenoshaToday.com. For more information, you can visit www.capowebdesign.com. And so from the Kenosha Today Weather Deck, our go-to weather lady, Sammy the Weather Bunny. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning.
So you're up and about already. It's almost 10:30, you know.
Yeah, I had to force myself to wake up, so.
Well, this show will put you to sleep. You can get back and take a nap real quick. Hey, I got a couple questions for you. Now that the school's closed for the rest of the year, what are you going to be doing?
I guess waiting around for e-learning to start, but otherwise, just ignoring my work that they've been putting out already is my plan.
Oh, that's your plan?
Ignoring our-
I'm not going to mention your last name in case somebody's listening. Here's my suggestion. Why don't you apply for a $1,200 stimulus grant, have it directly deposited into my account, and I'll homeschool you and secure your educational future.
I cannot do that because I'm already claiming her stimulus check.
Yes. Well, I was gonna make you an offer here. Why don't you tell your buddy Aladdin he can apply for $1,200, put it in my account, and I'll do it to both of you, and he could end up someday being just like me. What's so wrong with that, Sammy? All right, you got some weather for us, like temperature, clouds, sun, or in a forecast?
Yeah, well, so far it looks like it's just going to be sunny all day and in the mid-50s with a little bit of wind.
A little bit of wind? You don't have like a little more direction? Is it gusts of 50 or just light winds of 10, 12 miles an hour is what you're thinking about, right?
Yeah. My mom says it depends on which wind you're talking about.
Well, knowing yours, if you're breaking wind, you better go outside, out in the parkway there. What about tomorrow? What's the forecast for tomorrow?
Uh-oh. Tomorrow's supposed to be about the same. It's supposed to be in the 50s and sunny and partly cloudy.
So, as usual, a lot of thought process went into this today, right?
Yeah.
Well, now that you have all this extra time for sure in your hands, and since you've admitted on live streaming television that you're no longer going to be worried and doing any schoolwork, you got a whole week to prepare for next week's.
I'll get right on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, baby. All right, thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I don't know if I'd admit to everybody that I'm no longer going to be doing that, but at any rate, Video is totally stalled. It's not moving, so not much we can do about that, huh?
Nope.
Well, we're just going to keep going, I guess.
It'll keep through. It'll be fine on the replay.
Oh, okay.
It just keeps going.
So if you're watching us live and you're stalled, it's because of the, I guess, the atmospheric conditions with the overloaded internet. However, by mid-afternoon, you can watch it on YouTube, the replay, and it should go through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Anyway, there you have it, folks, directly from the Kenosha Today Weather Deck, here with our weather buddy, Sammy, here at Barter Manor, the most up-to-date and the most complete weather report anywhere on the planet. And you can tune in to Kenosha Today for all your weather information. Or when severe weather strikes, I like this, Elmo, in which case, don't call us because we don't care, you're on your own. Hey, should we do a top 10?
Sure.
We have one. We don't have any music yet, but this was written in our home office on the deck at Barter Manor, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category. Kenosha Today's top 10 ways to spend your stimulus checks. Number 10, take an all-inclusive sunset cruise on the Sea Scum 2 in the Lincoln Park Lagoon. Number 9, order 1,000 Dr. Birch scarves from the Dale Evans collection. Number 8, Buy an essential stay-at-home inflatable doll. Number 7. Reach out to the Democratic Party and show them how to drink in Milwaukee till 4 a.m. Number 6. Personalize your own vote by toilet paper ballot. Number 5. Get yourself a Governor Tony Evers bobblehead doll. I know you like that one.